he's gotta show up with more fighter gold lanes. I mean, he plays the Bane incredibly well, so that's something that Team Falcons have to look out
Oke
for.
guys,
They
kita
faced
masuk
that
di
exact
match
same matchup.
pertama
OHEB
guys.
in the
Tim
Bane, Super Marco
Liquid
the Granger, then they traded it
versus
out in their last
Flcn
series.
Philippines.
But then Few, I think, definitely needs to step up for Falcons here. So Few actually has one of the highest assists in the league, 230 assists, 120 for 210 for Sanji, just to compare. However, Few also has the highest deaths amongst all mid laners with 95. The third lowest for mid laners is Sanji at 47. So there's a huge gap there. That's at least what, 4 more deaths each game on average for Few. So he's really got to watch out for his positioning here. And Sanji and Few are going to be a big focus on the draft because for them, Jusin and Farsa is the main trade. These two teams are always fighting for those two heroes.
Yup, especially with how aggressive Team Liquid Philippines has always been playing. Although we saw some sort of that kind of recipe from Team Falcons over the course of Week 7 and Week 8, where it was Tlph constantly playing Lancelot, the highlight of the S16, which, by the way, I believe is going to be heavily contested towards this map. And man, I'm telling you right now, this is just 2 seconds, and we are completely a second away from making this officially our first game of the playoffs. And
Kita lihat
you know,
mapnya guys.
if you were living under a rock, we've already made our annual map change, which is basically how the changes are going to be, but broken walls are going to be the choice here for our two teams. It gives them a little bit more avenue, but hey, look at this. Team Falcons has only played in this map once this season.
And if you have been living under a rock, please let us know if your home was affected by the Broken Walls map. That house of yours, that rock might have been shattered by the Broken Walls map. So here we are, red side. We were talking about it earlier, man. The CC going into the gold lane. That has definitely changed things up. Up there with mid gold lane, up there with Alice EXP lane in terms of the trading of priorities with our drafts. So Liquid are looking at Rome, mid, and an EXP and or gold flex. But I think Liquid are looking at that CC pick more as a Super Marco pick than it actually is a Flap TZ pick. I like the respect shown by Liquid, and I like that Falcons. I have always said this, just never give the 1-1 to anyone you're going up against in MPL Philippines, especially since OHEB is perfect with that hero.
You know, gold laners in MPL Philippines are doing a pretty dang good job in making sure that that 1-1 is scaling perfectly, and it's quite unstoppable when that happens. And same could be said for that chip. We haven't seen a lot of chip all throughout the season, so at this point it's Team Liquid Philippines and Team Falcons just really taking matters into their own hands. And there is the
hero yang mahal
quite familiar for Sanji. I would say this could also go for Few, but they've denied that from Few. Instead, we're going to give Tlph a familiar hero with that Lancelot.
Alright, so this is very in line with the ordering of the draft, the priorities for these two teams. Liquid, we mentioned it earlier, the Jusin and the Farsa trade. They banned Farsa, get Jusin. Sanji got a savage with the Jusin earlier this season against AP Bren. 6-1 and 5 was his KDA. Now Tlph steals away a Tlph favorite pick in the Lancelot. Yisun Shin is still open, but then now with Grok's presence, what is Liquid gonna do to make sure they back up Tlph in the jungle? They get JP Scout and Kacha earlier on. So now the priorities have changed. It's Sanford's and OHEB's pick that we're waiting for in the second phase for Team Liquid, while Falcons might lock in their mid laner here or already show one of their gold laners so they can start banning it out against OHEB.
Lots of bodies covering for Tlph in this Team Liquid Philippines strategy, but for the other side, that's Team Falcons looking for a hero, quite possibly for Few or maybe even for Super Marco, because we saw a lot of potential trades here in the banning stages. You still have 2 more options here for the ban to be for Team Falcons, and for that final pick, it's going to be the Kimmy, so they want to preserve that Super Marco pick, because just like what you said a while ago, they have a high tendency of picking a Super Marco hero in the 4-5 spot, and I think that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it looks like they really haven't changed their tendency there. So they instead pick up now the Kimmy at the center of the map. So that's one of the top 3 trades that you have. That's the triangle of power in the mid lane. Jusin, Kimmy, Farsa. and then that's going to be that. Now, the fact that you have the Kimmy means you need a little bit more range. So let's see if Super Marco ends up with a Granger in the 4th pick. You deny Oheb that. But then at the same time, they can float around the idea of them picking the Harith in red 4. So let's see if there's going to be a trade there. But if that happens, you also still have an Esmeralda open, actually, that Liquid could go for. An Esmeralda can still even go into the gold lane if Falcons decides to go Harith red 4. So this is one of the toughest parts about drafting right now, post-Project Next, the flexibility that fighter gold lanes bring you.
Look at Aurora scouting competition right away. They're not even going to see them in the upper bracket finals until the upper bracket finals. But hey, I think from what I picked up from you, the Esmeralda was there, quite removed immediately. Same goes for the Lapu-Lapu. At this point, Team Liquid Philippines and Team Falcons are removing any sort of fighter opportunity. So there is a possible chance that we get to see something more, something even, flexed, such as the fighters. I think for Eman back in BTR, we've seen an export, gold laner from him. Even a Cho fighter is a possibility as well.
Yeah, and Cho gold lane is a high possibility now. So they ban out the Harith, Team Falcons. They're setting themselves up for a Granger pick. But then the usual response of the Granger in the Irithel is still open. But I wouldn't like the damage profile that Liquid will end up with. If Super Marco and Falcon shows his pick at a red 4, Liquid can honestly just go Cho gold lane. They can go Ruby gold lane and they'll be okay. I'll lean a little bit more towards the Cho, however, considering that if they go with the Ruby, they might just be susceptible to a tectonic charge from a So Liquid take out a comfort pick from Tlph from the Uranus. But this sets up for potentially just locking in a Phoveus right away.
Tlph has a tendency of being one annoying XP laner if you're going up against him. So for Tlph, they're trying to remove the Esmeralda and the Uranus just to be able to take control in the charge, which, by the way, was also a Lapu-Lapu that was removed from Tlph because this is also one of those heroes that he has utilized from time and time again, especially with their recent matches all over the regular season. So if you are Tlph, you're going to have to pick your hero right away, and that is going to be the Alice.
Okay, so in terms of the damage profile of Team Liquid, is actually not looking good for them. With the Alice already locked in, with the Harith gone, Liquid might have to settle for a Granger for Oheb. They can't go fighter. If they go Ruby, Alice will be happy. Alice does not care about that matchup. If they go Cho, that might be the difference maker. If they go for the fighter style Cho, maximizing cooldown reduction, the moment you see the Alice, kick her back even further, see if you can take her down before the other members of Falcons get to help Tlph out. But again, the problem is not enough damage unless Liquid show a different gold laner that can just burst and pop heads.
And so far, it's quite easy to get access to the backlines of Tlph just by having that Alice on their side. So for the engaged, this is going to be a problem, and there you go. They picked up the Ruby. They're taking the risk here. I'm talking about Tlph and the Yuzong. We have not seen you in forever, my guy. Welcome back.
Ini Sansinnya bakalan lebih main, guys.
Globally, if not the pick, if not the pick,
Kan ada TB sekalian di match.
Either the Dragon or the legendary man from Mactancebu.
Oh yeah.
So Marco, what are you gonna end up with now at this point? Because look, Liquid has gone full into the YSS.
Full engaged, dude.
Are they gonna go double fighter as well and then just put all the resources into the hands of
cuma
you
bisa
and Lancelot?
sing.
That's a pretty tough question to ask in Team Falcons. They're trying to figure it out, but now they go with the Claude. It's a hero that has been used by Super Marco, but they're not gonna fight Team Liquid Philippines in their very own game that they want to play here. They want to try to scale a little bit further, just so they can have enough damage to make this happen. But for Cuneta Astrodome and for people watching at home, this is the clash of the Titans, the final clash. Every game feels like their first game, because at this point, if you want to be able to make it into the top 4, you're going to be facing a familiar foe. And we're looking at the lineups right now. It's a mix of old and new strategies for both of these teams.
Whoever rotates faster is going to win this game. Ogwen needs to be locked in here alongside Few. Falcons, they cannot allow Team Liquid Philippines to build a very quick lead. That is a Yuzong with a Petrify that could even mess up the entry of a Claude. As this game extends, Super Marco might be wondering, wait, I have damage, I have my items.
Right.
Liquid can just build up a bunch of blade armors, but Falcons, that Alice is gonna be their main centerpiece to ensure that the Claude Claude, the Kimmy, and the Lancelot have the time and the space to deal a damage. But they will get to that point only if Ogwin and Few get their rotations right alongside Kyle Teasy. They have to win Turtle 1. They have to win Lord 1.
I mean, honestly, you're talking about Few right before the start of the matchup as they were being asked
Cok,
to
kenapa
step
lama sekali
up,
ini guys?
right? Not even in a gradual manner. He has to step up big time, make sure that he evades a lot of deaths that would usually happen in like the minute 5 or minute 7 of the match. But for Flapneasy, he's been doing this with all of the other heroes such as the Esmeralda and the Uranus as well. If he wants to at least annoy the rest of the members of Team Liquid Philippines, then that should be the route for them here in game number 1. It's quite a packed audience that we have right here at Cuneta Astrodome, and everybody at a weekday, Renmar. At a weekday, we are stacked right over here. Lots of familiar faces that we saw before the start of this game, and at this point, I am with you, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait to get this show started.
It feels like mid-December 2023.
Oh, wow.
It reminds me so much of the
Our
Rizal
voices ran
Memorial
out.
Stadium.
Our voices ran out during that time.
Our voices ran out during that time.
There were tears dropping too.
Yeah, how people are seated right now, the arena we find ourselves in. I wonder if there's a bit of familiarity and a bit of a reminder for the members of Team Falcons, who at that time were the members of AP Bren when they became the first team ever to not only win in home soil, but the org to become the first ever 2-time world champions. But Team Liquid Cavalry is outnumbering the Green Falcons, and Liquid have, I gotta admit, man, a slightly scarier lineup.
Trouble segala
My
guys.
mind keeps going back to, can they actually have the answer for the Alice?
Yeah.
And I think one of the questions we have to ask is, what the hell are Sanford and OHEM gonna build? Are they gonna go for the hybrid? Are they gonna go fighter tank? Are one of them gonna build a little bit more physical penetration to actually give that Alice some hard time? Because you're gonna have to make some dominance ISIS and see Halberds in there.
I mean, for the side of Team Falcons, I think their main ace is obviously going to be Flapneasy with that extra sustain. The setup is going to be immaculate towards getting them to a possible comeback because they're going to have to wait for Super Marco. Let's be real of that. It's the timing that is quite an occurrence here for the side of Team Falcons. If they can at least
Ini PH
provide
juga banyak
a good
PS-PS
situation for Super Marco to scale and get a lot of damage early on or maybe even in the mid stages, then that could help them a ton in game number 1. But the challenge is for, Ogwen and Few, even the trio mid position for the side of Team Falcons to be able to at least get some smooth objectives heading into the map. Because if you're looking at Team Liquid Philippines, they kind of have everything figured out. They have a good amount of crowd control, even have a decent amount of damage, and at this point, all they need is perfect execution to be able to take this game 1.
Yeah, actually, Team Liquid Philippines, with how you mentioned that, once we get into the team fights, their lineup might actually be the one easier to pull off because one of your main damage carries in the Yeast and shit is happy just staying in the back, right?
Lama sekali ini
Allowing
trouble lagi.
Sanford, Yuzong, and the OHEB Ruby to front for you, deal a lot of the initial damage, and then Carl T's just going to come in to finish the job. Well, for Team Falcons Philippines, Super Marco's timing here needs to be really good because, as we mentioned earlier, with all of the crowd control that you pointed out that Team Liquid Philippines has, the fact, again, that there's a Petrify for the Yuzong, a second skill, a very quick one from the Ruby, might just mess up the entry of a Claude after a BMI, even though he'll pop the Purify and have the CC immunity. It's still a tough task for Super Marco to be able to find the right time to actually enter with the Blazing Duet Ultimate.
And not to mention that there are also some early invasions toward that gold lane matchup. So both Super Marco and OHEB
Tapi masih ada yang kosong-kosong sih bang
to a lot of those early invades in previous matches that we've had before. They need to take better care, better communication at this point. And for Team Falcons, I gotta say that, Kyle TC has been pulling off some quite insane mechanics towards Carl TC, but for the GOAT himself, I mean, he said it during the interview, right? He knows how to beat this team right over here. They have a lot of support for both of these teams, and it's just gonna be a matter of time to see this matchup and how it's gonna be going. So I think for all of the people, especially for Onyx Philippines, the matter at hand is how they would be able to initiate, but you're looking at the start, the beginning of a possible end for at least one of these two teams. The question is, who or which Titan will be able to get over the wall and make it to top 4, Renmar. What a moment that we are heading into.
Keren Cok, keren Cok.
Falcons, Liquid, the legend of Titans unfolding before us. Mythical and immortal at this point. The opening matchup of the Season 16 playoffs. It's them again. And also seeing the discussions online with how seems to be a curse for Carl TZ. And a lot of that curse seems to involve Few.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, but then Few's also looking at Carlos like, we haven't beat you guys in playoffs in a long while. In mplph, we may have won against you internationally, but not in home soil.
Cok, lama
So that
sekali
big
nih
question
guys.
is hanging above their heads.
You know, Renmar, I was at the front row, right? I was trying to talk to both Carl Lisi and Few because they were sitting beside each other. So Few was giving high fives to the other people, and then as soon as he sat with Carl Lisi, he was like, "Yo, Carl, you gotta give this to us, man. Yeah, you have a lot of championships already." And then Carl was like, I'm quite unlucky because this is an even-numbered season. He's talking about Season 16.
Yeah.
And that's been the pattern for quite some time. You know, we were looking at Season 10,
Berak
12,
dulu
and
kali ya.
14. It has not went the way Team Liquid wanted it to because they were experiencing some first-round exits.
Yeah.
But for Team Falcons, this is obviously a moment for them to build up on the momentum that they have manifested all towards Week 7 to Week 8.
Yeah. Thank you all for your patience. As you see, our marshals are working hard to ensure that it's an even playing field for our two teams. With this historic matchup, as we're waiting for it to unfold, we're just making sure that everything is set up perfectly for them. Troubleshooting some things, but we appreciate you for sticking out with us. We are just as excited and hungry and salivating for this game number 1 to begin. We just want to make sure that everything is good for our players.
I mean, at this point, if you want to look at some of the players here, they are laser focused, locked in, also waiting for their moment to shine. And you can say the same thing for the rest of the fans that are here who have been waiting outside, obviously looking for a chance to showcase their support for the rest of the teams that is here. It's a battle between green and blue. It has always been a clash of the Titans ever since Season 13, and now is the time to showcase what these Titans
belum
can
mulai
do.
juga
Nice
guys.
one, Leo. You
Ya
got this, guys.
ampun.
For breaking this one down, it's a battle of the
Tuh
Titans
nonton
ahead of us,
MPL pakai
guys.
tank top lagi.
We're just minutes away, or maybe seconds away, to jump into the game here. But I do have to say this, man, it is electrifying here for day 1 of our playoffs. Leo, who knew that we'd get this matchup to kick it off for our playoffs?
You know who knew?
Who knew?
I knew.
Oh.
Come on, we're talking about the premier
Yeah, come on,
esports
guys.
league in the country, if not the region. And you can see that the super fans came in droves, filling Cuneta Astrodome up to capacity on a weekday. It's a random Wednesday in the Philippines, man.
Hey, it's not a random Wednesday anymore. It's a Wednesday where the Titans are clashing.
It's day 1 of the playoffs.
Day 1 of the playoffs. And, you know, while we wait to go ahead and jump into the game here, there's a couple things that we have to remember and just how crucial this one is. Again, we've got, by the end of today, 2 teams leaving the playoffs here. I mean, this is an electrifying thing because you have to remember, too, how big it was for the Falcons to even make the playoffs, man. I mean, for a lot of people, myself included, actually. I'm going to throw myself in that basket. I didn't know if the Falcons would actually make it to the playoffs.
Hey, there was this young man who screamed, "The miracle of Season 16."
Sounds familiar. I think I'm looking at him.
You are deep into his eyes, but yeah, no. I get
Ah, ini nonton MPL apa nonton penonton ini guys?
The regular season. And I'll tell you now, I don't think 10 days was enough to buy us time to recover and to comprehend, to digest exactly what went down. So, folks, we'd like to thank you whether you're here with us in the Cuneta Astrodome in the middle of Pasay City, Philippines, or if you are with us online from all around the world. I'm talking to you, Wagner. I'm talking to you, Trex.
You're talking to everybody. Hey, we got a whole list of restreamers out there, and some of our bestest friends are currently restreaming out there.
Selamat malam to all y'all watching from Jakarta, Indonesia. That's right. I see you.
Dia bahasa Indonesia guys. Selamat malam.
Now you guys see us. Welcome to the desk here. You're actually going to be seeing me, Naisu, and Leo to paint your guys' picture, I would say, for this one, because right now, the panel, they've told us all the storyline leading into this, you know, and I think, again, both of our teams are getting things kind of smoothed out here. Again, we want to make sure that for as crucial of a match as this one is for the Titans here, we want to make sure they have the best playing field for the matchup ahead of them, because, again, you got 5 games, man. 5 games, one of these teams, it's either going to be a massive, I would say, upset, or it's going to be where a lot of people were thinking was going to happen if Tlph takes it. But before that, before we jump into the game, guys, we are going to be taking a break so they settle everything out. So sit tight. We'll be back after this.
Aduh, ini apa lagi, guys? Astaga, kita cut dulu, guys.
Team Falcon, they will see it, but that's it.
So that explains.
Oh, maybe. He'll pick. The flickers.
I'm looking.
I'm gonna wait a little bit, you know, but I'm definitely after.
Oke, guys, karena tadi trouble, guys, ya.
Which you got. You got.
You're gonna trade for that?
I might have to go to the trading round for you, man. And number 2, number 1 for me.
Nah, ini kita udah mulai
Alice,
masuk
I want
ke
that Alice.
match
I want that
pertama
If I
nih.
crack that Alice,
Then you have 2 cards
then
that I
we're
want.
gonna have a conversation. That's gonna be a long negotiation, Joseph. All right.
Okay, hey, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're gonna be jumping right into the game. I know it took a little bit. Thanks for being patient. The players are ready. And hopefully we have a smooth route from here. Once again, it's a best of 5 between the Titans, Team Liquid Philippines, and Team Falcons. And this best of 5 elimination match, first day of playoffs. Let's take a look at the emblems here.
Nih, Ohep pakai
So far,
rugi.
nothing out of the ordinary. I'm looking at that Alice. It's on full tank mode.
Yep.
And then you're looking at Sanford. You see him rock that rupture. So he really wants to dig into that early game advantage that Yu Zhong has. This is a debut pick, by the way. I can't believe it's been a while. It's taken this long. Sanford is the Yu Zhong, if of not just MLBB, of not MPL,
Yeah.
of all MLBB.
I was going to say he is him at this point. I mean, for a lot of people, if it was your first time watching, Sanford play the Yu Zhong just a couple of years ago, was it? He had an amazing performance on it, and it's one of those heroes that did take some time off in our current meta, but it's still as deadly. I think some people, even in their own games, forgot, man, just how much Yu Zhong can hurt with the shot essence and everything else.
Uh-oh.
Oh, mid lane.
Few gets launched up, jumps on his own volition, dropping a bit of damage. I don't think that's a fight they want to take.
Okay, so they do get a battle spell out. Sanji had to burn the flicker, so that can still be a bit of a win there. Minor one, Sanford also used that petrify earlier on, while Flap had to burn his flicker. So
We missed that little tango.
yeah, we missed it, but this is one of those things that we kind of expect with these kind of lineups, man. Especially for Team Falcons, they're gonna have to build up. Like, this is gonna have to cook a little bit. Turtles already started
Boleh
off.
tuh.
Aggressive start for Liquid. Black Dragon form thrown out, plus the Mountain
Dia
Shocker.
mencari
Falcons
Lancelot.
ain't gonna have
Ternyata
nothing
Lancelotnya mesti
on
ngebot.
that one. Turn over to the cavalry.
Timing in favor of Team Liquid Philippines there. Fast start on the turtle. They knew that these level 4s for Team Falcons are crucial for them. I mean, you're talking about the Kimmy, the Grok. Those are crucial ultimates that are needed. There's an Unbreakable, but it is on Ogwin. So he's going to be fine for that. But, Team Falcons now, I'd say they're in a position to go ahead and fight. If they want to choose a fight, they can take it on any of these lanes.
Uh-oh. Kaltizi finds Daddy JB, puts him to a third of his health. The patriarch of Liquid is fine. Down bottom, Flapteezy dueling against Sanford, gets the advantage. If Sanford on the Yu Zhong is an early game threat,
Yeah.
I think Flapteezy with the rework on Alice is just as bad. She's basically a sexier Uranus.
Hey, she could cosplay. at that point. Actually, I think I'd rather see the cost.
Oh! Throw to ruin! Plus a tech charge! That's 2 kills, almost taken at mid! JP survives via the revitalize. You were saying?
I was saying, hey, well, what I was saying earlier is that as a level 4 is available, they'll pick a lane and they'll go for it. And that's what the tech charge was, man. You know, forget what I was saying about Alice cosplay, but hey, I'll tell you what, that's a move they can do time and time again to hit the mid lane.
You know what? It's the first time I've ever seen a Throne of Ruin charge that way.
Yeah.
Like you do it from afar and then you throw out that gleam, shadow in, and then you pop them.
This is something
you can't do that with Uranus.
You can't. He's a lot more like, here I am. There's not much of a...
He announces himself.
There's not much of a surprise factor when it's Uranus, you know, at least with Alice. But that's why the Alice has worked so well. Think about it. When she was available, was it week 6? She wasn't picked up too much, maybe 1 or 2 times. And then as the season went on and we got closer towards the end of the regular season, she was up in almost every game or banned.
I think this is the kind of Alice teams we're seeing in the scrims.
Yeah.
So now we've unlocked it. Now we know what it's like. Turtle spawns in the upper quarter. Not as early a start for Liquid. I think they're heeding what Falcons can throw at him.
Yeah, they're going to wait for Sanford to make his way up. He does have that Dragon form and the Petrify.
Uh-oh.
Mount Chakra's going to be used, but they want a full fight for this.
And Ogwin does come in once more with a tech charge. Easy with a secure and a big knockup. Ogwin falls. Kyle as well. Liquid clap back. They want to take down View. He flickers out but falls just as quickly. 3 for none plus the turtle. They want Flap. They don't gonna get him. Here comes Sanji. The chef do be cooking and it's spicy, baby. They do find Marco. Sanji shaking that thing.
Shaking that thing. What a play for TLPH. I mean, it looks so good, Leo, for Team Falcons on the setup with a tech charge and everything else, but then TLPH was like, nah, we'll take the turtle and all the kills, and we'll shake that thing in the middle of it.
Falcons wasn't ready. Folks, a quick look back at exactly what we mean by he is him. Sanford is currently #1 ranked all time as the usual. 31 games under his belt. This being that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they catch Flap.
Oh, it works so good, Leo. The lanterns from this Jushin for Sanji into everything that TLPH has, whether it's Oheb on the Ruby.
Oh!
Here's a jump.
JP synced up with Oheb. Marco with a point blank. BMI, what was he thinking?
He's not thinking about all the crowd control that's being thrown at him, man. I mean, it's tough to escape that. You actually mentioned this with a Claude earlier on when we were waiting to jump in the game. It's like, it's a Claude. You have what? A BMI plus the Purify. That's about all you have.
He had only one of those things.
He only had one of those at that moment. But even then, if he had both, the problem is TLPH has so much crowd control, so much CC that they can actually deal with anyone from Team Falcons.
Literally, they all have CC.
They all do.
So check how Marco is going to make the most of that. They're down 4K. Liquid can literally just, press down on that wound.
Oh, man. This makes me almost worried that if Team Falcons forces a team fight into this third turtle, that the same thing might just happen here because they're losing that economy now. So TLPH will start up this turtle. They have complete control. They're going to go for Oak. He's going to defensively tech charge out. Is he going to do anything?
And they compromise him. Take him down as well. Flap easy go into the back. Throw to ruin. No one home. Ogwin shambles. Cracked in half. Marco with a defensive BMI. Flap easy fall. He's going to have the BMI on out of there just as quickly. The duet ain't going to hit no one. While Falcons are reeling, and they want to take down Kyle.
Oh, can they actually chase him down? He has the stacks here, but I think he's able to get away. Again, he is this Lancelot, but still, man, it's like TLPH can choose whatever they want and go for a team fight, even if it's extended. Because you look at this, where's that brunt of damage from Team Falcons come from? It's not enough yet. It's not online yet. Super Marco isn't there. He's still a ton of gold away from being online.
And Joseph, it's a very specific kind of damage.
Yes.
It is DOT, DPS at best. So they need Liquid to sit there, stand there and say, we won't fight back as much. But they won't have it. They are literally blitzkrieging. It's a Liquid stampede right now.
It is. You know what the problem is even if you want to wait, if you're Team Falcons, Team Liquid's not letting that happen. They have so many options. Even if it's just JP jumping in your back line to force a response, it's so difficult for Team Falcons to post up and be like, all right, let's play the defensive game here. Because now, I mean, talking about 8-11 into this game, they're down almost 8,000 gold. You know, in this situation with this kind of lineup, you don't really have much of a choice but just to kind of watch and hold on. Like, you've got to buckle up and hope that you even get to a late game.
Fortunately, Falcons does have decent wave clear. Looking at how Ogren can actually put up a wall, delay waves, use that as a specific tool. Few with that good range.
Tech charge?
Oh, they're fighting big! Tech charge with the wall coming in, but they just get squished right there on that wall that Ogren dropped. Flap is going to take it as well. 3-0. Liquid are almost 10k up. Joseph, this is painful to watch.
You see what I'm saying? If you decide to fight your Team Falcons, Tlph will take it. Look at the burst damage they did to Ogren, who's supposed to be a tanky guy.
Speaking of all the fight fans out there, this is literally a fighter who is down on the 6 to 12 position, punching up. You just don't.
You just can't.
You protect yourself.
You've got to.
Tapi tuh
Gloves
hero-nya
up.
harus
What is that?
kuat ya,
What is that?
guys.
Gloves up.
Put your gloves up.
Put your gloves up, man.
Cover
you know?
up.
But who? Paquito's not in the game, so who's going to do that?
Hero kayak gini
I
lah.
was just about to get there. Ogren can put up
Jangan
walls,
kamu
control
pakai
waves.
saber
You can just
XP,
pew
saber
away.
Godland.
Find a way to get Marco that farm he's looking for. Double lane while he can. Again, Liquid is going to freeze now. Look how they're barely touching these waves. They're waiting for this Lord timer. They want to time it exactly on the spawn. They want this Lord to come at 10:15, not 45.
Yep, there it is. So right there, Oheb will go ahead and finish that off. And mind you, they already got one of the holy shields down too. I'm not sure if they actually got mid. Yeah, no, mid's still fine. They got the tier 2 there and top, but they got that holy shield down on the bottom side. So Team Falcons, you're looking at this. You're facing a 13-1 deficit, 10,000 gold. You know, where is this? Where is that? Oh, you mentioned earlier that they could clear some of these waves out, but
Itu
this is one of those
Kimi
things, man, again,
sama
where Tlph
Flcn
might
jadi
just force this
tai
one
ya.
in and punch it in for game 1.
You know what? It's a stroke of mad and evil genius. Liquid may or may not have on purpose not pushed the tier 2s to further delay Falcons' wave clear and resources. Because look, if the waves were coming in to actual inhibitors, it would be easier to get resources, right?
Yeah, they'd
but
be
if
able to
you
farm.
have tier 2s, it gets much harder. There goes the pulse.
no.
Oh.
And there goes the
Hati-hati, guys.
charge.
Hati-hati,
They're
guys.
trying, but no, he's not tough enough. He gets squashed that fast.
Again, they went for the initiation. Open, burning the flicker, tech charge, and to get nothing. Unfortunately, it's Flap that went down. Now sitting at 0-5 on this Alice. Not the game that Flap was looking for. Or Team Falcons. They might be facing a very difficult base to defend here as they push in Tlph with a massive lead. And everything else, they're going to go.
They cracked the face down bottom. They cracked Marco, folded him in half, and there's just 3 defenders left. I don't think this is possible. I think Falcons might have to just recover from the back as the base is up next. Lord still standing. Team Liquid Philippines stampede through game 1.
Tlph GG, TLED nggak lolos dia.
Game 1. Reminding everybody what a Liquid stampede is here for Tlph. So dominant already to start off the series, showcasing that, yeah, they at least are here to still be claimed as Titans, to still push forward and break the curses that they've had for the even number of seasons here. But Team Falcons, man, I don't know what happened there.
Sampai jumpa di match selanjutnya guys ya. Jangan lupa subscribe guys.
It took us a little bit to get there, and then it kind of fizzled out.
It was actually pretty tame up until Liquid said it.